What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. As you can see, I am back home from my trip here. It was a lot of fun to be making those YouTube videos on the go, but I'm going to be honest, it is so much easier when you have a good computer that you're working with. So hopefully things are a bit more smooth going forward here, just for making videos in general on the channel. And one big thing on that trip is I found that people were big fans of live commentary gameplay, basically where I do my battles live in front of you guys rather than making it so I do my battles and then, voice over them after the fact. I think, though, a lot of people like both formats. It's kind of one way or another. It's hard to go wrong. I think I'm going to do a mix of both of those formats here, just in general going forward. Today, I'm going to do a post-commentary video. It's been a little bit since I've done that. I figured I might as well do that here today. And with a very interesting team using a Hyper Beam Diggersby. This Pokemon is a very unique pick. It's a Pokemon that, well, if it gets a shield on the Hyper Beam, it could be a little bit clunky. The best thing about it is a lot of people don't expect a Diggersby to throw a move like this at them. It can do a lot of damage, and opponents hopefully are not going to be ready for it. I'm going to pair it up as well with a Shadow Talonflame, a Pokemon that loves it if shields get down. So Diggersby getting shields and then sweeping with Talonflame is going to be the play. And of course, our Shadow Malamar here in the lead is hopefully going to be a lot of fun for us as well. So let's get into the battles and see what Hyper Beam Diggersby can do. Alright, let's get right on into it. First game of the day, Shadow Malamar as our lead up against a Lantern, likely running Water Gun, I'd assume. Yeah, it does look like that is the case here. And the best thing about this is Water Gun Lantern, while it's not necessarily great for Malamar, take a look at our backline, right? I have a Diggersby with no ground type move. I have a Shadow Talonflame as well. While this isn't the best matchup for Malamar specifically, it's not bad because our backline is going to get to avoid this. Surf will come through against us. It will draw for a shield here. Our opponent safe swaps a Pile of Swine, a Pokemon that is also pretty good in this meta, but I have a superpower ready to go. Our opponent going to go for that shield, and now Talonflame can come on in, go for these Incinerates, and see what they want to do. I know Piloswine could have access to Stone Edge. They just threw on alignment against us, so that is amazing for us to see. They do go for the bait, but that might not matter. One more Incinerate still knocks out what's going to come in to try to absorb all this energy. Of course, Lantern will come back in here. I'm going to go for the Flame Charge. Might be a bit greedy. Maybe I should have gone for the higher damaging move of Fly, but either way, we should be able to go for the next move. They actually try to catch here on a Cradilly of all things. That's a Pokemon that by no means wants to take this Fly. Boosted damage, it will draw their shield, and it's on Bullet Seed as well. No fast attack pressure here. Might not even need our Diggersby right now in this game. We have a Fly already ready to go, and Malamar, after landing this move, should be able to Psywave this down, as well as potentially knock out that Lantern as well. While we will go down to this Rock Tomb, they're going to dump all of their energy into us. Psywave will shred through their HP. We can bring it in, go for that farm down. Down goes Cradilly. Likely down goes that Lantern here in just a second. Our opponent doesn't even bring it back in, and we're able to pick up the win. Love to see it. GG there to our opponent. Next game, going to see a Shadow Talonflame on the lead, a Pokemon that we're using ourselves here, obviously, but Malamar, a very neutral matchup into this, but man, these Incinerates are chunking our HP right now. I don't know if we can win this matchup the longer it goes. Yeah, it looks like just 6 Incinerates is all it takes to knock out a Shadow Malamar. That is so crazy, but I bring in my Shadow Talonflame. I go for the Incinerate Sneak. I know that was almost certainly a Flame Charge, but the thing is, Shadow Talonflame into Shadow Talonflame, two very squishy Pokemon, so I do think going for the shield here, even the double shield into the farm down, is hopefully going to be a good play. Energy from Shadow Talonflame is generally a pretty scary thing. We do get that full farm down right before the next Fly will be reached. In comes, it looks like a Guzzlord, very cool pick here in this meta as well. We know this thing is so spammy, just 3 Dragon Tails to a Brutal Swing, but I also know that I have so much energy myself, I can still get to 2 moves before they get there first, which means this is either going to get a knockout or draw their shield. It comes to a shield, and now Diggersby with no shields remaining in this game will come in. Can we land a Hyper Beam in the backline? I think at this point they're not quite in range where a Fire Punch would knock him out, but I think with the quick attack damage, it should be pretty close. Wigglytuff comes in, and this Pokemon, while it's not going to get necessarily one-shot by a Hyper Beam, man, it's going to do a lot of damage. Our opponent has no shields remaining. This move is going to land. Doesn't quite one-shot, but it puts them down deep into the yellow, actually deep into the red, I should say. And now while Icy Wind will land against us, we have enough in the tank on both our Malamar as well as our Shadow Talonflame to close out this game. It comes a Fire Punch against our opponent. This might knock him out, might not. It's going to be close. It's not the best move out there. Yeah, it is enough, and now Malamar should be able to just barely outpace to a superpower, get the knockout against this Guzzlord, and this should pick up the win. In comes the superpower, down goes Guzzlord. GG to our opponent. Hyper Beam, I guess, didn't really necessarily matter there, but absolutely love to see it. Next game is a Wigglytuff in the lead. One of the worst lead matchups I could possibly see here. I safe swap our Diggersby. We are met instantly by an Altaria, and this right here is the matchup where Hyper Beam is a make or break moment. I can land the Hyper Beam, and if I do land that, I can flip switch. And even if I don't land Hyper Beam, honestly, getting a shield advantage is generally a pretty good thing for this team. I have a lot of high damaging moves. What will our opponent do? Do they respect the move? They actually do, surprisingly enough here. I was kind of wondering if people would respect this at all. I know it's a move that you don't see too often, but I guess they did see I built up a ton of energy, so they do shield the first. In comes the Sky Attack. Our opponent will end up landing, but Diggersby is so bulky. These Dragon Breaths not doing all that much damage. We can reach another Hyper Beam here. It might not knock out. Our opponent goes for the double shield. That's interesting. I guess they must be scared of our Malamar maybe in this game, or maybe they just wanted that full farm down. Really comes down to their final Pokemon here in this match. In comes a Sky Attack against us. Likely is going to be Sky Attack. Could be a Moonblast, I guess, but no. Sky Attack and Flamethrower, almost certainly the moveset of choice here in this meta. Unfortunately, just barely don't get that Foul Play off before their next Sky Attack will be thrown into us, but I can shield that up, overfarm a lot of energy, get to back-to-back moves, and hopefully a Foul Play and a Superpower loaded will be enough to maybe flip whatever's in the back line. I also have a Shield advantage as well as a Shadow Talonflame in the back line. Our opponent, though, has a Water Gun Lantern. Honestly, I could not have really dreamt of a worse team for us to see. I guess maybe a harder answer to our Diggersby could have been in order, saying they had an Altaria, and Altaria, if it ends up taking a Hyper Beam, would be a pretty, good matchup for us, but they didn't let us get that off, and honestly, at this point, this game is pretty over. These Water Guns shredding through our HP. Fly will come through, not quite knock him out. We get Water Gun down, we can Psywave down here, but I don't have anywhere near enough HP or energy to finish off this Wigglytuff, but you did see what you can do with Hyper Beam against Altaria. It's not quite as bad as it could be otherwise. Next game is a Corviknight in the lead, and this Pokemon, it's kind of an interesting spot for a full team, right? I have two Pokemon in the backline that I would consider so much better against this than our Malamar. We go for a Superpower, our opponent gonna go for that No Shield. In comes the Safe Swap of our Diggersby, and our opponent instantly brings in an Altaria. Once again, this Altaria on the counter swap here. I am gonna go for the Hyper Beam. This time, will we get his shield? Will they let this go? Big moment of truth once again in this battle. These people, why are you shielding? At this point, I just want to land a Hyper Beam. At the very least, we're keeping these Altaria honest. We're getting a shield advantage. And because our team, as long as there's not like a Water Gun Lantern in the backline against our Talonflame, is good up shields, I think we're still in a decent spot. In comes the next Sky Attack. I should still be able to survive this move. We no shield. We do survive Hyper Beam coming in on a CMP. Is this going to knock out? I don't think it quite gets the KO here. Our opponent does no shield. In comes our Shadow Malamar. They do just barely reach another Sky Attack against us, which is a little bit unfortunate, but Malamar can no shield. I can survive and hopefully be able to do enough work with my Talonflame in the backline to win this game. They come back in, though, with this Corviknight Tears Air Cutter going to be called. It is the bait. Our opponent does farm us down, though, and they do have quite a bit of energy still left over on this Pokemon. I'm hoping 2 Incinerates are enough to knock out. They go for the next move here. Could be a payback. Our opponent going for the Air Cutter bait. That's not great. One more Incinerate coming through. It doesn't quite knock them out either. And now at this point, is this going to be an Incinerate, or a payback rather? It's going to be, oh, okay, an Air Cutter. Maybe I could have no-shielded that. In the backline, Shadow Drapion. I call the catch attempt. We farm down the Altaria. Now I have back-to-back moves ready to go. Fly coming through first. I know at this point I need to get as much damage against him as I can. Our opponent goes for the no-shield, and at this point, going for faster pressure is all I need to do. One more Incinerate knocks him out. GG to our opponent. Next game is a Shadow Scizor on the lead. Not my favorite lead matchup here, but our 2 backline Pokemon do have access to Fire-type damage, so I am hoping at this point that potentially Fire Punch should be able to one-shot them. Our opponent makes a fantastic catch there. Not the best play by me. Fire Punch coming through against this Altaria once again on the counter swap. Man, we're seeing a lot of Altarias here today. Hopefully now that they saw that I Fire Punch them, maybe they're like, this guy has no damage against us. I'm going to no-shield the Hyper Beam. Can we see it at least once here, Hyper Beam? What are these people doing? I guess it makes some sense. I built up a lot of energy, but man, I want to be able to get the damage against them. I swear, like, did someone else make a video on Hyper Beam Diggersby before me? Because if they did, I guess, fair play to them. But I thought I was going to be an innovator here today. People are not letting me have fun right now. I promise you, though, we do land a couple here later on in the video. Just a lot of very cautious opponents, I guess, here the first couple of games. I'm going to go for this shield on this first attack, likely a Sky Attack once again coming through. They do end up going for the attack there. I'm going to try to farm them down if I can. Psywave's not quite enough damage, though, to get that farm down before our opponent is going to be able to reach this move. I will shield this up. I know at this point that while they can combo play us here, it will open up a farm down for our Shadow Talonflame. We can bring it in, get a lot of energy, and hope that the energy across the board this game should be enough to flip this matchup. They go for a Night Slash against us. Shadow into Shadow. Night Slash actually does do a sizable amount of damage. Yeah, it puts us down nearly into the red. What's their final Pokemon going to be? Are we going to have play? We have a lot of energy across the board right now. Our opponent thinking for just a second here. They bring in a Togekiss, and well, this isn't the worst thing for Talonflame to see. I think we're just in Peck down range, and they're almost out of move already. My energy on my Malamar is pretty useless against this as well. Unfortunately, not the Pokemon I wanted to see. Well played to our opponent there. GG. Next game is another Shadow Caesar. All right, not my favorite lead matchup once again. Last time they did catch a Fire Punch. Let's hope we can avoid that this time. Our opponent's building up a lot of energy here. I guess it could have got a Fire Punch off against them if they would have let us, but no, I guess we ended up overfarming. I was so scarred by that catch in that last game there. I wait a turn this time. It's not an Altaria that comes in, it's a Licky Licky. Very interesting Pokemon to see here. I know a fellow Pokemon that could have Hyper Beam. I guess if they do build up a lot of energy, maybe I should respect it here. We land a Hyper Beam of our own. It does so much damage against this Pokemon, and that was 7 rollouts. Could be a Solar Beam, could be a Hyper Beam. I'm going to play it safe, shield it up, and there it is, their own Hyper Beam user. Love to see it. Honestly, a fellow opponent of culture here. I go for the Fire Punch, a little bit of an overfarm past 100 energy, but I don't think it quite matters here, saying this will still, I guess not quite knock out, but it will put them into quick attack downrange. We can get the farm down. That's just a body slam, maybe a Shadow Ball at the very worst, but honestly, there's like no chance they'd throw a Shadow Ball against us there anyway. A Runerigus in the backline comes in, and I guess not having access to Scorching Sands here is not the best for us, saying I do have to go for Fire Punches, but still, it's a decent amount of damage. I can get them chipped down, at least hopefully into the yellow, maybe into Psywave downrange, because I do see a win condition for us. It's not exactly the most respectable, but I mean, I think I have to go for it, and that's just a fast move beatdown. If I come in with my Malamar, there's no real reason to throw charge attacks here, because Psywaves do so much damage, and if they come in with that Shadow Caesar, I don't even have the option to throw a charge attack against this. It's going to be gone before I can even get to a move. In comes a move here against us. Night Slash does do quite a bit of damage, but now this Runerigus is going to have to come in and knock us out with a charge attack if they don't want to take any more Incinerate damage. They threw the move nearly instantly here. Good timing by them, throwing right before I could get that Incinerate to register. And now Malamar just has to hope that it can Psywave down before they can knock us out. Now, most Runerigus run Rock Tomb as well as Brutal Swing, so as long as this is not a Shadow Ball, we should survive and hopefully farm down. Brutal Swing comes through. They almost had the back-to-back, but not quite. We're able to snipe him down with another Psywave and pick up the win. GG to our opponent. Oh my goodness, another Caesar in the lead. I guess this is the Caesar Cup. Who would have thought? Talonflame lead would be popping off right now. But once again, an Altaria on the counter swap. What is going on right now? I must have been left out of some group chat because every single player is just running the same core right now. I know it's a good duo, but come on, can we please have a little bit of originality? I don't know. In comes the Hyper Beam. Finally, we land the move. I guess at the very least, they might all be running the same team, but they did not give this trainer the heads up. I think I can still survive this attack here. It's going to be a Sky Attack, but Sky Attack not the most efficient move in the game. Diggersby is pretty bulky. We survived. We just barely reached the Hyper Beam here. Do they try to call that I'm not even at the move just yet? Let's see what's going to happen. Hyper Beam ends up knocking out the Altaria, and winning Switch Advantage is going to mean now I can Incinerate through this Pokemon. In the backline is a Furret here, and I think we're in a pretty good spot, but an Energy Lead Furret can actually outpace a Malamar to charge attacks here. Geez, and this should be able to put in work against us, but I think our Talonflame in the backline is still in a pretty good spot. The biggest thing about this is I don't necessarily need to knock out the Furret with my Malamar. I just need to make sure that this thing is pretty low on HP into Incinerate downrange, so that way when I knock out that Caesar, this thing will not get a Swift off against our Talonflame in the backline. They go for another Swift here. We'll go for that Foul Play. These Psywaves are adding up quite a bit against our opponent, and if they ever swap out into that Caesar, I want to match that swap as well. Our opponent here is going to bank a lot of energy. No, they actually throw energy against us here. That will knock out my Malamar, but now that is all of their energy down the drain. I should be able to Incinerate this down, and since I know the Caesar has a decent amount of energy on it, I might as well just go for the Flame Charge, guarantee the knockout. Night Slash comes through, doesn't do enough here to one-shot us, but if they did reach a second, it would be enough. Play it safe, go for this Flame Charge. I know they're not going to reach another move here in the back line. Flame Charge comes through, knocks out that Caesar. One Incinerate knocks out the Furret, and we're able to pick up the win. GG there. Next game is Shadow Malamar into a Shadow Caesar. Why is this the only lead that we're seeing right now? I know Shadow Malamar is not going to have a lot of great targets in this meta. Oh, who would have thought? An Altaria on the counter swap as well. Amazing stuff. As I was saying, I know there's not a lot of hard targets for Malamar. In theory, there's a lot of neutral matchups though that we should be seeing, but no, it's just Shadow Caesar. That is the only Pokemon that we're seeing on the lead right now. I guess I'd land a Hyper Beam here. That's pretty nice to see. Sky Attack comes through. The biggest issue is our opponent actually played this game out pretty smart. They ended up going for a lot of fast pressure with their Shadow Caesar against us before they swapped into Altaria, and that guarantees, despite landing that Hyper Beam here, that they're going to be able to two-shot us with those Sky Attacks. I have to use a shield. Maybe, though, they expect a Fire Punch bait. They must have. They no-shield that attack. Down goes the Altaria. In comes their final Pokemon. It's a Togekiss. And while I wouldn't call this necessarily a core breaker, now it's going to be down to my Talonflame to do a lot of work in this game. I actually get a shield with the Fire Punch, kind of an interesting shield to get from our opponent there. And now my Malamar is going to come in, try its best here to land a Foul Play if I can. If they're on Dazzling Gleam, I probably lose this game, but if this is just an Orsir, I do survive. They full send the Gleam. I knew I couldn't shield that up because if I did shield, then at that point, they're just going to be able to just charge move spam my Talonflame to death. And now, I mean, I know they don't have Psyshock here, but Aura Sphere, despite being resisted, is still going to do quite a bit of damage. Can't quite farm down. They reach another attack here against us. And while that Shadow Caesar in the backline is so weak to fire type damage, it's not even going to be lined up against our Talonflame. This Togekiss here just sweeps us. Well played to them. Next game is Shadow Malamar up against a good lead for once in my life, a Drifblim. Love to see that. Best thing about this lead matchup here is especially if I can call an Icy Wind bait, then I actually just get 2 foul plays off without even needing to use a single shield, either meaning I get a knockout against them as well as a shield, or potentially both shields from this Pokemon. And they don't even bait. This is just going to be an Icy Wind. I know I survive. I know shield, and I should be able to just barely reach another foul play here in just a second. Our opponent at this point either has to double shield or take a massive amount of damage. What are they going to do? In comes a move. They do end up letting it go. In comes a low punny. What the heck? I think this thing has triple axle, which is like a Trailblaze version of an ice type move. And it's also got Fire Punch. If I remember correctly, yeah, triple axle comes through. Doesn't quite one-shot us, right? But it does ramp up their attack stat. I go for the Flame Charge myself, just boosting my attack as well, trying to make sure that if they do go for the no-shield here, I can farm down. Or if they shield at this point, I have a boosted Talonflame against their backline. I have no idea what might be in the backline, but at this point, I still have a shield. I have a +1 attack on my Pokemon here. We should be in a pretty good spot. I go for the instant fly. I know at this point our lose condition is letting them dance around us at all with this thing, so I knock them out. Our opponent here is going to think about who to bring in. They must not be that strong against Talonflame. We end up picking up the win, actually, not even needing our Diggersby. Love to see it. Next game, a Scorch on the lead. I'm going to be honest with you, that is not the best lead for a Dark and Psychic type Pokemon. While they don't have a lot of fast attack pressure against us, the worst thing is they can just go for lunges here. They actually win CMP as well. Lunge would one-shot us, and they pace evenly to these moves that I pace to my foul plays, which means that my Malamar is actually going to have to go down 2 shields if I want to end up getting the knockout here. I go for a catch and a sneak with my Incinerate here. A good play by me, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a Talonflame answer in the backline. Yeah, I guess so. Morpeko comes on in here. Morpeko, well known for its sweeping potential. I do have my Diggersby that could potentially handle this Pokemon, but it is still looking a little bit tricky here, saying at this point they are building up so much energy, and because they throw a charge attack here, it's going to be a Psychic Fangs, likely, maybe an Aura Wheel if they want to boost their attack stat. Looks like, yeah, just a Psychic Fang, so at least they don't boost their attack here, but this is a little bit precarious. Now they are in the Dark-type form, and a Dark-type Aura Wheel is still going to do quite a bit of damage. I'm going to no-shield here. I know I can survive this. At the very least, it's only a neutral attack. It does so much to us, though, already here. Nearly half of our HP is gone. In comes their final Pokemon. It's a Shadow Charizard as their final pick here. Was not expecting that, if I'm being honest. I think I'm going to have to go for a shield on this move. Probably should have thrown a foul play a little bit quicker there to guarantee a shield down from our opponent. But at this point, I do have a foul play ready to go, and I can just barely outpace before their next attack. Our opponent, though, realizes that they just let their Charizard go down. And at this point, I might be in some trouble. I'm going to go for the foul play to draw a shield here. But if they can go for an Aura Wheel here, and then a second Aura Wheel that's going to be a boosted Dark-type one against my Diggersby, they might just be able to win this game. Now, fun fact, in the moment, for some reason, I thought I would survive this move. It's a boosted Dark-type Aura Wheel. I, on stream, was like, I survived this move. I'm going to win this game. I was so confident here. I don't know why. It's just going to knock us out. I do not survive that. Well played to them, honestly. Morpeko's such a menace. Next game is a Togekiss on the lead. This Pokemon, by all means, is not a good lead matchup for our Malamar, but we have to keep in mind, I keep on seeing Caesar in the lead, so we just have to take what we can get, right? Foul Play gonna come through, it's gonna be able to chip them down into the yellow. Togekiss not well known for its bulk, and as long as they don't have Dazzling Gleam, or as long as they don't throw it here, we should force 2 moves out of them. They go for the Aura Sphere. It doesn't quite knock us out. We can reach another move here if they let us, but they do throw on CMP. This Aura Sphere will knock us out, but down goes a lot of their energy, and Togekiss, once it is out of the way, should open up our Diggersby in the backline. In comes our Talonflame. Our opponent swaps out immediately into their own Diggersby, it looks like. I doubt they're on Hyper Beam. I don't think I've seen a single other Hyper Beam Diggersby here so far in this meta, so I'm going to hope that at this point I can no-shield whatever they're going to throw, go for these flies against them, and chip them down quite a bit. That was a little bit too quick here for a Hyper Beam. I'm going to no-shield this attack. Likely just going to be a Scorching Sands. Yeah, we do survive that here. I'm going to go for another Incinerate, bank some energy, and then bring in my Diggersby, trying to go for a full quick attack down. They do have a bit of HP still left over on that Togekiss. I haven't seen their third Pokemon either. Luckily, no Scorching Sands debuff comes through. It's only a 10% chance nowadays. In comes a Gastrodon here of all things. I'm just going to full send it. I don't know if they're going to expect this right now. Hyper Beam against a Gastrodon comes through, does like 75% of their HP. And since I landed that move, I think this game is just going to be ours. That could have been a little bit tricky, honestly, if they did end up going for a shield on that Hyper Beam, but now they have to shield Fire Punches of all things. I still have energy on my Talonflame. We should be in a pretty good spot, I'd have to say. Yeah, Fire Punch gets a shield from them. Quick Attack's even doing quite a bit of damage, and now in comes that Fire Punch. Will we get the second shield, or at this point, are they going to have to realize I have a fly in the backline? They probably can't shield this. Yeah, they do let that go down. In the backline is a Togekiss, but this thing's pretty low. So is that Diggersby at this point, too. I think just one Incinerate knocks this out. One Incinerate knocks out that Diggersby, and despite the energy they have on Diggers, they're not going to get a second move off. They're not even going to get one move off. They actually just transfer the damage. Down goes Diggersby. Yeah, not much they can do at that point. GG there to our opponent. Next game, we had a break from the Shadow Caesar lead for just a second. Of course, we have to see another one here. In comes our Fire Punch, but not before a Night Slash will be thrown. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point they're just going to swap out now into an Altaria, because that seems to be what everyone is doing. I wait, we see it coming in, so that's good. I guess we don't throw a Fire Punch into this, but I don't know if it's really going to matter much, because that Night Slash chip damage has put us pretty low on HP, potentially into a range where one Sky Attack as well as these Dragon Breaths could knock us out before I reach a second Hyper Beam. In comes a move here. I don't want to shield just yet. I go for the no shield on the Sky Attack. I do survive. I bank a Fire Punch, which could be helpful for us later on. But Altaria now, a lot spammier than it used to be. Already had another Sky Attack. Ends up doing about 50% of my HP. In comes that Shadow Caesar here. I should be able to get a shield advantage against this thing. In comes our superpower, not only to try to get a bit more raw damage off against them, but also to give them less farm down here. The best thing about this is I think that they are in range where just a single Incinerate should be able to knock them out. They will get a Night Slash off against us, but I don't really know what's going to be in the backline. I have to hope at this point, whatever it is not a great Pokemon into my Talonflame. No, I mean, of course, if you lead a Shadow Caesar, you kind of have to have a Talonflame answer in the backline. It's going to be a Unova Stunfisk. We have Flame Charge, at least a lot of neutral damage, and honestly, it does do quite a bit here. I'm going to call the catch attempt. Our opponent, though, does not fall for it. I go for the Fire Punch. I do see a win condition still in this game. What I have to do is go for the next Fire Punch if I can, but we get sniped down by a Dragon Breath. If I would have got that move off, I would have knocked out that Altaria potentially, then maybe still won the game by Flame Charging that Ufisk, but just barely not quite able to win it here. And unfortunately, not exactly the most positive day in the Go Battle League for us. I was trying out a lot of different teams here in the Jungle Cup. We were close to Legend, honestly, at the start of the day, but I didn't really find a team I really liked to use until I tried to use this one, and this one was a lot of fun. Maybe not the most meta viable team, but it is a lot more flexible than a lot of the teams I was trying out. No, I think Hyper Beam is a very fun tech, but maybe after making this video, people might respect it a little bit more. But even before the video, people were still respecting it, so I don't even know. But, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll be making some more videos, both live action, live commentary, that is, as well as post-commentary in the future. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.